Dialogue with Khuraira. Dialogue with Khuraira is a platform that we celebrate who we call the unsung heroes. The unsung heroes are incredible people doing great things in their various communities for the betterment of humanity. And we invite them in so that way they can share what they do. Hopefully, it will inspire you to start doing something positive in your own neighborhood, uplifting lives one person at a time. And today we have His Highness Prince Cliff. Cliff, I am not even going to butcher your last name. So over to you. So you can do us the honors and do the full introduction. So this is what I do with my guests. I
That's
have them do their own introduction, tell people who they are, and then after you do, then I will proceed with asking questions.
sure.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm Cliff Nzombato, from Lamurde, local government. Uh, I'm like you rightly said, I'm the prince of the Bachama Kingdom. So I'm pretty much the prince in the whole of Atlanta, North America. So yeah,
Ah, the real prince.
that's right.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Mhm.
Well, welcome to Dialogue with Khuraira. Please introduce yourself fully to our viewers because I'm sure the topic we're going to discuss today is sustainable agriculture.
Okay.
So it's very, very exciting. I think, in my other life, I must have been a farmer. In my other life. I swear to God. I love anything about farming. I'm like,
Agriculture.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I think agriculture has been part of my life. I grew up, in Jos. Um, my father had a lot of farms in Jos, and I remember very well that. I mean, you know Jos very well. You know where there's a standard newspaper in Jos.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
farm was actually built in that building.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember when we have Independence Day, and then children will go to the polo field,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then we'll do parades and all that. And as soon as we finish, we'll go and harvest potatoes at the farm. So
Wow.
my far back in the 70s, like as a kid, I follow my dad, and in the 80s, what happened was that when we started coming back to Yola, to Noman, to Lamurde,
Yeah.
um, Abiola's farm in Adamawa State. My
Mhm.
family actually, my Uncle Gregan was the one that was in charge of Abiola's farm in Gongola State at that time.
Wow.
So we will ride with him and go to Jalingo, go to all the different places that the farms are, and we'll sit down and just admire the beautiful array of just maize farms and all that monocropping systems. And then coming back home to Numan and to Lamurde, we have all kinds of gardens. We have all kinds of farms that were producing, all kinds of vegetables and fruits, and that was very sustainable. And my cousin, there's one of my cousin who is the former deputy governor of Adamawa State, was
Uh-huh.
very adamant about agriculture. He was into like a lot of animal farming. And
Okay.
in Jos, we also had gardens in the compound because it was a pretty big compound. So we
Yeah.
we, we we were raised with all kinds of animals, and we had a goat that we were feeding. We call them names, and so I grew up in that surrounding environment, but never actually looked at it as part of my calling.
Yeah.
But some things were going on in my life when my parents started working with the missionaries in Jos, and then I started traveling with them,
Yeah.
and then started learning about agriculture because they created sustainability in
Yes. Yes.
Nigeria.
Yes.
So that became part and parcel of my journey in terms of sustainable agriculture.
Mhm.
And the sustainability of the agriculture at that time was just your capacity to grow food for yourself and
Yes.
for your family and then the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
So that capacity was very interesting for me. And then when we travel, what we teach people is that okay, you can actually grow 90% or 85% of all the food that you eat
Okay.
within sort of 100 meters
Yeah.
of your home, of your surrounding area. You
Yeah.
can
Very
actually do that.
interesting.
So that gave me a unique confidence in creating this whole notion of sustainable agriculture. And then when I started traveling around the world, and I realized that that is very sustainable.
Yeah.
So when I travel to refugee camps and
Mm-hmm.
work, I will go there and help support them. When I travel to then I went to Cuba. When I went to Cuba, I was excited about how the Cuban economy was flourishing with agriculture, with sustainable agriculture. It's not that they're doing mechanized farming or anything like that, but they're doing just sustainable. I mean, somebody would live in a 10 by 10 meter of a house, but they are growing vegetables, they're growing food, they're growing everything within their sort of immediate surroundings. So that helped me to sort of say, you know what, I got to do something. So I started developing an apprenticeship program.
Okay.
This apprenticeship program is to get 5 boys and to train them on the efficiency of master farming. So that I develop a curriculum of how you can actually start from zero. And starting by zero is like I can go to a village, for example, and say, I don't have anything, I don't have any money, I don't have anything, nothing whatsoever, no money, nothing. But then you can actually create sustainability within 4 months. And how you do is by actually borrowing. You can borrow 20 chickens from your neighbors. And once you borrow the 20 chickens, you bring
Look at me like, huh? What? Borrow in Africa now?
Yeah, you can do that. You can actually do that. It worked. It actually worked.
Okay.
You can borrow. You borrow 20 chickens.
Uh-huh.
And once you borrow the 20 chickens, you tell your neighbors, okay, in 6 weeks, I'm going to return your chicken for you with extra 2 eggs.
Wow.
So in this time that you borrow these chickens, they will actually hatch and produce. So what all that you need to do is to go to the grain market. Once the people finish, you collect all the grains from the floor, from the ground, and bring them to your space where you actually put. And this has been done. I've done it.
Brilliant.
So you bring it and you feed the chicken. You do that for 6 weeks.
And this is organic even,
It's natural. It's natural, organic, free range, whatever. So you need to protect them from the birds.
Yeah. Okay.
So you put them in a cage. And all these things you can make them, you can get them locally. You don't have to actually buy, you don't actually have to invest, nothing. You can borrow all these things. You can make a cage and put them in there, and then you can now start actually feeding them. By the time you actually start feeding them, you can go to the river and you can just dig a 4x4, put water in it and put plastic on the bottom and put water in it. And you can go and catch your fish, and you bring your fish and you put that in that small pond.
Okay.
So you have fish and you have chicken. The chicken poop, you feed the fish with it.
Wow.
Now, the water from the pond, you water your vegetable. That's your fertilizer, 100% fertilizer. So what you need to do again is to go and get worms. You can actually go and pick up worms from the ground, dig and pick up worms. When you get the worms, you put them in a space and go to the market again and get waste vegetables from the vegetable market after the marketers finish selling. You bring it and you feed the worms with that. And
so you have a whole curriculum to follow.
Oh yeah. You can go from zero. You don't need, I'm telling you, you don't need any money to do that. You don't need $100, you don't need $5, you don't need $2. You don't need anything. All you need to do is to have, the most important thing there is your collateral. Your character is your collateral.
Yeah.
That is your good relationship with people, ability for you to be bondable, to be trustworthy, to tell people that, okay, what I say I'm going to do to you, I'm going to do it for you. So I'm going to borrow 1 chicken, and in 6 weeks I'm going to get you 2 chickens. Because your hen will hatch, and it will give birth to more than 10 eggs. Yeah. And if you like, you can be selling the eggs, or you can incubate them and they can actually produce more eggs.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have your vegetable. And then with the seed, All you need to do, again, you go back to that vegetable market. Your spinach,
which is wasted anyway. Nobody's
exactly.
You know,
the vegetable market, you can get all your seedlings there. You can get all your seedlings. All you need to do is to bring them and engraft them. That's how you have lambu. That's what we call lambu in northern Nigeria. Then you grow your own. You grow your own thing. Within 90% of all the food that we eat, where 90% of it grow within 3 months.
Wow.
90% of everything that you and I eat, they all grow. The 10% are your yam, your cassava, then the other thing. But the basic nutrients that you and I, corn, potatoes, tomatoes, so all the, your regular vegetable that is sustainable.
So this, what you are saying now with the whole thing, the insecurity about not getting into going to farms, families are going hungry. They can actually grow their food within their compound. They don't need to go anywhere.
They don't need to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what Cuba did. That's what actually Cuba did for the 50 years that they were restrained and nobody was able to travel. Nobody was able to do it. They created sustainability with sustainable agriculture, not mechanized agriculture. They felt, and today, Cubans have the highest centurions, which is people who live over 100 years old.
Wow.
Cuba has the largest number of, because they eat organic food, they grow their organic food, they do their food becomes their medicine instead of medicine becoming their food. Yeah. And I think that sustainability is an important thing for us to learn, rather than say, okay, now Nigeria has 60 or 75% arable land, right? Okay, so we agree that arability land is there, but we shouldn't even get to that point of say, okay, we need mechanized farming, we need this. No, let's go to one local government, one ward, and get 1 hectare of land. Let's just start very small, create a small space, 1 hectare of land. And with this 1 hectare of land, you're able to create sustainable feeding for the people in that community. You train them for 6 months. Now, training of 2 months and then practicality of 3 or 4 months. Okay. That is to say, you train them on seed, harvest, planting, taking care of the garden, planting, taking care of the garden, harvesting, and then taking care of the food system. Now, in North America here, we waste 65% of food.
I know.
In Africa, we waste at least 35% of food. But let me give you the statistics here. In North America, there's 0% wasted in the farm. There's 0% wasted in the process of bringing the food to the home.
Yeah.
Because it's properly handled. They teach you all the handling techniques, and you handle your food, you get it to the homes. But majority of the food that is wasted in North America is wasted from our refrigerators and from restaurants.
Yeah.
That's where the majority of wastage happens. But in Africa, it's different. 35% of wasted food in Nigeria is from the farm. It's from the farm. Once you are able to sort of secure that safe food environment through food handling, food processing, food storage. So you have to understand the difference between food storage and food preservation. When you're storing food, you're not altering that organic food from its organic natural state. When you preserve food, you alter the organic and natural state of the food in order to create longevity, or what is known as shelf life.
Yeah.
So those two have to be differentiated, and there are different products that need to be preserved, and there are some products that need to be stored for a given period of time. And so if you put all those things together and you train these master farmers and skill, it's a skill that has to be learned and has to be taught
And how long will be the training?
Okay, so for you to become a master farmer, you need a long period of 5 years.
Okay.
But you need to do apprenticeship, just like the Igbo people will take you, and then the apprenticeship program will go for 4 years, 5 years. It's the same thing. So that this person is capable of sort of harvesting 1 hectare. Throughout the 5 years, this person, everybody among the 5 of them will harvest.
So that is long. Let's to address the immediate hunger that is bothering every person.
Yeah.
what is how long? Let's say we want a community to be sustainable. With the insecurity, they cannot travel to their farms, and they have to do it within a home or within their how do you train? Or
we can provide the training for 2 months. We can provide
Yeah.
the training for 2 months, and then we can give them the essential supervision that is required in each sort of state or local government. So if we're going to say we take Plateau, for example, and we take Jos,
Yeah.
and then we can look at the outskirts of Jos. I don't know how outskirts now Jos is, but you can look at different places, and then you can say, okay, now since Plateau State is the hotspot right now, we can say, okay, within 100 meters from your own community and from your own home, there should be a garden. Jos has a lot of water in it. If you dig 4 feet, you get water.
Yeah.
Anywhere in Jos, everywhere in Plateau. 4 feet, maybe 10 feet, maybe more, maybe less. I don't know the statistics right now, so don't quote me. But there is availability of water if you dig a little bit deeper into the ground. So that's essential. There's worms in Jos. There's a lot of worms in Jos.
Yeah.
The soil is very fertile. Jos is a very fertile soil. And then the weather is also very hospitable to a lot of people. So you can get cold sort of ridden food. Your carrots can grow very well in Jos. Your cabbage will grow very well in Jos. Your lettuce.
We are the capital of vegetables.
Exactly. Yeah. So all your cold vegetables will grow. Your broccolis, your spinach, your beets, your beetroot, all the natural, even local vegetable, aleho, karkashi, so all the different vegetables that we eat can grow within a period of say 2 months. You can plant them and harvest them. So if we have that done, if we are able to provide the seed for these people to actually grow this food in their homes, you can actually use the bathroom water. The water from the bathroom that is coming out from your bathroom can become water to your garden. And that's
what about the soap and all that in
the soap actually, what the soap does, the soap actually will drive away ants and other predators.
Okay.
So it does not affect at all the MPK of the soil. It doesn't. It actually increases because it has, there's a lot of acidic content to the soap, because soap is lye and hydrochloric acid, and all those things will dissolve in the and then you have worms also that are present there, who can actually be useful to creating the most natural or MPK in the soil. So with your banana peels, with your kitchen waste, again, you recycle it back and create compost. And you put everything back into the garden and farm. Then you're creating a traction that will now start producing food on a regular basis. So if you look at the farming, if you look at the agriculture, if you look at just home agriculture in terms of sustainability, and you bring in if you're a meat eater, you want to do goat. I don't advise you to go through goats. Just go through chicken, birds. Start with the little ones that will grow all your vegetables.
Fast.
Yeah. The ones that you will grow. You can grow your tomatoes will take you about 75 days or thereabout. Onions take longer. So you need to take time to sort of put your onions on the ground, and then they'll grow. But you can start harvesting the green leaves within 2 months, within actually a month. Within 4 weeks, you're harvesting the green leaves until they germinate and grow, and you start using them.
The thing is that people don't appreciate that, because we are heavily dependent on carbohydrate diets instead of doing vegetables. If they did understand that vegetables are quick, are filling, and healthier, and they don't have to waste a long time for them to grow the vegetable, probably it's all about redefining their mindset of
the eating habits. But if we go to carbohydrates, our corn grows under 3 months.
Oh, really? That's good. Yeah.
Corn. There are different species of corn that grow. Your potatoes can grow under 3 months. Your potatoes grow under 3 months.
1 second, Ahmed. I'm so sorry for your loss. He's saying he lost his father yesterday.
Oh,
so sorry. Allah bless his soul. So sorry. I'll reach out to you after the show. So sorry. Yeah, he's a regular of Dialogue with Khuraira.
Okay.
So 90 days we have a corn. We have
You have 90 days. 90 days, you have everything that like 75 to 80% of everything grows and germinate. And
Yeah.
within 3 months to 4 months, you're getting ready to harvest all your nutrients that you need. Like a bunk of it, like 80% of it is ready for your table.
Yeah.
Whether it is your
I like that you mentioned about waste in terms of food from farm to whatever in Nigeria.
this
Oh,
this is beans. This beans
what?
is 7 days.
You are growing it in your
Yeah,
living room?
I'm growing beans in my living room now. The temperature outside here is about maybe -10. So
Okay.
I grow my beans in my living room. This
Wow.
one is 10 days old. This beans is going to grow. Now, I can tell you that I have grown up to 1 kg of beans in my living room.
Really?
Sustainably, yes. You can actually do that. People have done that. If I want to do that, I can put a greenhouse in my space. Maybe that's why I'm single. But
All right, ladies, he's advertising. In case you're looking, Cliff is single. He's our princess.
no. No, I'm just saying. I'm able to sort of look, so I used to have like 200 plants, like literally 200 plants. There's moringa growing, there is beans growing, there is spinach growing, there's onions growing. There's just pretty much everything that I need. We just come in and harvest it. So I grow my aloe vera in the house, because if anybody is sick or anybody has an injury, all they need to do is just to plug the aloe vera and just put it
And
here.
put it in there.
And up they go. So, and this beans and all the other things that I grow in my house, they provide fresh air. They provide natural fresh air. They filter the air in the premises, in the house, and they are good air conditioning. They filter the air and provide you very natural and clean oxygen. And so if we practice this sustainable agriculture, and our parents in Africa did that. Our parents, I mean, whether you grow up in any part of the north, that. I mean, any home that you go to in the village.
Well, in our home, we have lambu.
Exactly. Everybody had lambu. We have
tomatoes, we have vegetables, we have we even have they call it's avocado, but we call it pear.
Yeah, pear. Yeah,
back home, which is we have it a huge tree.
Yeah,
big ones.
There's mangoes, there's guavas.
There's guava. We have everything in
there's this, so we and these things are they're not too far from the house. You can walk in distance. You can have your guava, you can have your orange, you can have all these things, and we can grow them. And we should stop cementing our houses. We should stop cementing.
That's where I was gonna go next.
We should stop cementing the houses. We should start actually making them green, so that we can plant all kinds of vegetables and plants and trees in the house, so that we can grow this food system with them. They can be done. It has been done. I have practically done that in my house. So but now I have big space. I have the Peter Mickey food bank here that I can go, and then I can get a space there, and I can have volunteer, and also they can give me to manage it. I can go an hour away, rent big space, 1 hectare of land, and grow all the vegetables and sell them and become sustainable. All those things are available that we can do. But if we create a cooperative narrative, that is to say that we're able to bring people together that have the same idea, and we all provide. Somebody's providing seed, somebody's providing expertise, somebody's providing the harvesting plan, somebody's providing the land, and we can all work together and create this sustainable agriculture. I'm not even talking about mechanized farming or big industrialization of our farming, or that we need infrastructure to do that. No, we can do that when that time comes. But for now, the fact that we have people that need the food to eat, let's create the sustainable culture of the fact that we are now creating independence of food security, the capacity for us to say, I have the food to eat now. I can grow my own food. I can sustain my own family with 3 hectares and 1 cow. That can be sustainable.
Did you like the Atsi Adamawa project that it came up with the goats and the hen, the chicken? the
Brilliant.
chicken. And I have to
Brilliant.
tell you, I at first I'm like, okay, how are they gonna do the revolving thing with
Brilliant.
animals? But the young man that brought the idea explained to me is that the I think the cow, I mean no, the goat, when the goat give birth, now they take the other goat and
Mhm,
give it to
mhm,
some other family.
mhm,
So they
mhm,
have like two goats and
mhm.
one male.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how they're doing, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah, no, no, but yeah, yeah, it's the same. It's the same idea. It's the same
yeah,
idea that So you don't wait for you to have 10,000, 10,000 naira, 20,000 nairas, or 100,000 nairas, or whatever nairas that you need. All you need to do is to create good relationship with the people that have.
yeah.
You can go and borrow chicken. If chicken is 10,000, if one chicken, if one chicken, say 50 chickens, I think 50-day-old chickens, they are like I don't know, maybe 15,000 nairas.
Okay.
So just 50. Like you can pretty much, you can actually start, and you can actually generate money with feed with selling birds. You
No,
can
we had
create
a young
sustainable.
we had a young boy, one of our training at Zamfara, and he had chickens. He's 15 years old.
Mhm.
He did it around Salah. He made a lot of money.
Yeah,
And then he's now, it's a business for him. But I told his mom under one condition, he has to still go to school. So
that's right.
he's going to school and
Mhm.
now he has the chicken business, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Young,
I think I agree with that.
you know?
I think I agree with that. I think the idea for us is to create. Now, I am the I have a seed bank here in Canada.
Yeah.
I control. I was given the seed. I was in charge of the seed bank for 2 years. Now this is the third year. So if anybody needs seed, okay. So one of the things that we should be doing in ATSI in Adamawa,
Mm.
especially in Adamawa, is that we become the seed bank of Nigeria,
Okay.
where we can be collecting seed and recycling the seed.
Okay.
Because if anything happens, God forbid, anything happens, if we don't have seed to sustain our people, then there is disaster. Now, I remember when I was growing up, my father would bring that particular seed and put them in a shaded area and say, "Don't touch this." And I didn't know what was all that was all about.
You know what I
I mean,
did?
our people we have rumbu. Everybody had rumbu in the village.
Yeah, yes, yes,
And that's a very beautiful storage system. I
yeah.
think we shouldn't throw away those beautiful
I
storage.
hope not.
So
Because
so they are growing, and then we can sustain them. I tell my people say, "Okay, why can't you come home and do that?" I said, "Don't worry. All I need you to do is to stay alive. One of these days, by
in
the
one
grace
of
of
these
God,
days you'll be back there,
I will
you know?
come home, and I will do the things that everybody's thinking. I will
Yes.
do it. But I need you to all be alive. I just want you to stay alive. And I pray that God keeps you alive by his grace, and all these things will be manifested. We will get there.
Yeah.
So the sustainability is what I'm actually after.
Yeah.
So don't wait for anybody to sort of try. I have a lot of my students right now in Adamawa, in Kano, in Kaduna, that they just tried, and they just called me on the WhatsApp, and they say, "Okay, uncle, this is what I've done. Can you help me?" So I will give them advice, and I will show them one or two things that they need to do. There's a guy right now in Imbru who is actually planting. He's actually planting apple trees in the hot season of Numan area. He's doing apple seed, which is a very beautiful thing. I have an apple orchard here. My apple orchard is doing very well. And this year again, I'm gonna have it. So this is the last time I'm gonna have apple orchard. I hope this is not the last time I'm gonna have it, because we have a joint venture with the farm owners, because they are selling it to an outside vendor. So
Okay.
so we have something that I train Nigerians on. If you go to my WhatsApp page, you will see a lot of the Nigerians that came to Canada last summer. They walked in my apple orchard, and they were able to sort of experience what it is to actually walk in an apple orchard, and then have the grape orchards, and then we have all these farms that we are actually growing and providing sustainability. We shouldn't be thinking way up there. We should start
Yeah.
thinking about, okay, how much, say for example, you want to produce tomatoes. I mean, you and I talked about the tomato
Yeah.
industry.
Oh my God. My
So
goodness.
if we look at if we look at the industry that Dangote is doing in Kano, the tomato factory that you said he
Well,
actually,
it's wrapped up.
So the industry is there, the infrastructure is there, the buildings are there. So why can't we just say, okay, you know what? Can we lease that place? Can we lease that place for the sake of it? And listen to me, 250 tomato sticks stands, plants, give you about 10,000 pounds of tomatoes. Just 250.
And how much would it cost you for that 250?
How much will it cost? What do you mean?
To buy to plant it, you have to buy.
Oh no, you all what you need is seed. All what you need is, I think I have tomato seed here. I don't know.
So you get the seeds.
Yeah, tomato seed is just like in my hand. Just something in my hand like this tomato seed. Yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need. The seed, you know. I mean, we have a lot of seed at home. If they don't have seed, let me know. I can send seed from here. I can send all the seed that we need in order for us to grow the tomatoes in Adamawa in Adamawa on Plateau. So if we have that, if we grow 250, just 250, that gives us 10,000. Multiply that by 100. So that if every station, if every state of ATSI is providing at least tomatoes, they specialize in tomatoes, then that production is capable of producing enough tomatoes for the factory.
And then that money can actually now be shared among the members that are, so that's the
so we need to start producing. We need to become a producing producers, not only consumers and trainers. We need to actually start producing, have our own farms.
I have to. I remember. I don't know. I just got busy. I remember last time I spoke to you, said which I know someone. I'm gonna find out for real what's the story with the factory and see honestly, because not even apart from like people even thinking of different states to do the tomatoes, but don't think of it like Kano, Plateau, for example. I know for a fact.
Tomatoes will not do very well in Plateau because
no, but I mean they waste it. It's always wasted when they do it. You know.
Yeah.
So instead of them and some of them travel to the east by the time they get there, and then the people frustrate them. They don't buy it, so that way they'll be forced to give it to them next to nothing.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I think it might not be a bad idea to check why the Dangote factory didn't work.
Yeah.
You know,
so if we look at the hot states are Gombe, Northeast is the hot states. Benue is hot. Plateau is not very hot, so we shouldn't bother too much about tomatoes. Katsina, Kano, Gombe, Bauchi, Sokoto, Maiduguri, all those areas are hot areas because tomatoes will do good when the temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. Anything lower than that, if you have temperature, Jos can get to about 19 degrees. So you shouldn't actually put tomatoes in greenhouse in Jos. No, if it's so, let's put them outside where temperatures are like 35 degrees, above. That's where you get good tomatoes. And that's why a lot of people put them in greenhouses. In Abuja, you can put them in greenhouses because sometimes the temperatures actually get very low. So the best tomatoes we can have are the ones that are coming in from, say, Adamawa, northeastern Nigeria, Taraba, Maiduguri, Yobe, those areas. Then you can have very, very, beautiful tomatoes. And then we have to train our farmers on how to harvest tomatoes. You don't allow your tomatoes to ripen on the stick. You don't allow the tomatoes to ripen on the stick because by the time it ripens on the stick, you're halfway done. Sometimes they even crack. So don't wait to that level where the tomatoes get to that level. You can harvest your tomatoes once they are big and they are green. You can harvest them and turn them upside down, and then they can now start actually maturing and they can now turn color. By the time they're doing that, you take them to the market, and then now you can now start actually juicing.
We are getting an agricultural class. This is amazing. I have learned so much in such a small period. But our parents, they've been doing that. I remember my aunt used to remove the tomatoes.
Yes.
When they are not ripe. And she put put it in like a container.
Yeah. And as that's what chicken when then about
Yes, I did a condo and no.
yeah, I did a condo, you know. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, dialogue with her non-house speakers. I'm sorry. Your fault, Cliff. Okay.
Yeah.
They usually put it in a little basket and
Little baskets and little containers so that they are, you know, you store them very well. And those are the really good African agricultural techniques that actually teach people. So I think if we go into actual practice, sustainable, small scale, medium scale agriculture, these are the sustainable ones.
Yeah.
That people can learn within a short period of time, and they provide them with sustenance where they're able to sort of navigate little things and create revenue for them.
Yeah.
You know, so if we can do those expertise kind of thing and say, okay, Adamawa State, I'd see Adamawa State should be producing 3 different products. Okay, like rice, which is a crop, or beans and peppers, and then we can say Gombe. Gombe should be producing tomatoes, 100% tomatoes and peppers. And then we can go to Maiduguri. Maiduguri, you guys, Borno, produce this particular product. So we can have expertise from all the different products so that
they can sell it to each other.
They can sell to each other, and then after 1 year, they can move, they can rotate. They can rotate so that if Maiduguri produces tomatoes this year, the next year Taraba should produce tomatoes, so that we can shift it and then create a system where we're all depending on each other. There is coexistence towards agricultural produce product and then sustainability of the soil itself, because we have to do something that the soil is sustaining. We cannot just doing that and just sort of depleting the soil of all the nutrients that is providing. So if you grow tomatoes this year, you should have, tomatoes takes a lot of potassium and phosphorus, because you have the fruiting.
The thing that amazed me is the one for the bathroom. I mean, if you know, the water.
Yeah. The water from your bathroom you shouldn't put it in the gutter. Don't put it away in the gutter. Channel it to your garden. In fact, let me tell you something. What you don't know, or what a lot of people don't know, is that the water that comes out from your bathroom into your garden will provide the most natural organic food and healing capacity than any other produce or any other medicine you will ever have. Because your DNA is involved in it. The moment you wash your teeth, you wash your body, your DNA goes into it.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot to it. But just that practice, just that practice.
The lesson is just too much. I'm opening my own lambu right now. But no, joke apart, I think we really need you. I think I love the idea of having like different states doing different things. I love the idea of finding out about the abundant factory, if it is really abundant. I'm not sure. I don't want to be quoted. But
let's find out what's going on with that factory.
Yeah, let's find out what is really going on. But I heard that the factory is not functioning, and why is it not functioning?
That's right. That's a good question.
My other thing that I actually like would want us to touch on is value chain agriculture. So can you, like, in a community where they're not well endowed in terms of like finance, how possible is it for us to start like a cooperative kind of value chain agriculture too, like in some certain produce? I don't know, it can be everything, but maybe.
No, I agree with you. I think if you're looking at value chain sustainability, also you need to look at 2 systems of agriculture. You're looking at downstream agriculture and upstream agriculture. Downstream agriculture is the distribution of the food finished products. Dangote made his billions from downstream agriculture. He never had any farm. He'll go to the farmers and buy from them, and then he will sell the products.
Yeah,
he was making a lot of the money
and package it and sell it
and packaging it. And so that's what value chain is all about. You're creating sustainability. You're increasing the life shelf. So there's storage and there's preservation. So what you can do in terms of, say, let's look at.
Said yes, the factory isn't functioning. So
okay, so if we look at tomatoes, for example.
Thank you, Faisal.
since we have tomatoes on the table now. If you take tomatoes, for example, and you say, okay, how can we create sustainability of tomatoes with no money? This is how you can do that. When you get your tomatoes, right, you can air dry your tomatoes. You can air dry your tomatoes and dehydrate your tomatoes so that your tomatoes is stored. The nutrients, the antioxidants and all the amino acid in your tomatoes are stored within the tomatoes itself.
Mm-hmm.
When you expose it to a minimum amount of sun so that it's dried. So when you dry that, you are able to package it, and then you can sell that, and that tomato will still contain the nutrient and the nourishing value of that tomatoes.
You just need to add a little bit of water and blend it.
Yeah, just put a little bit of water, blend it, and blend it whatever way you have, and then you have your tomatoes. You have your tomatoes, right? So that's that's another way you can do the value chain in terms of providing tomatoes and
in an economic way.
That's right. So, and then you can take the tomato leaves and then turn them into fertilizer. You can compost them and turn them into fertilizer. Now, if we go into, say, another crop like beans, for example, you can provide beans, grow your beans. You can actually, once you grow your beans, you can actually sell them as green beans, or you can actually allow them to grow and then you can peel them out. Then you can store them, or you can powder them. Now, if you powder those beans, you can actually export them into different places in Nigeria. Now, I want to encourage interstate trading, inter-village trading, first of all, so that we can increase food capacity and food presence within small local governments. We have in the northern part of Nigeria, we have probably, say, 372 local governments. Yeah. I'm just giving that number.
There's 700.
No, I know the whole of country. I'm just talking about the states where ATSI. I'm talking about ATSI states.
Okay.
So if we take all the local governments in ATSI states and we say, okay, you know what?
Now, are you making dialogue with her about ATSI now or something?
Of course. You are the queen. You're the queen of.
I think it should be open to everyone.
I think I'm just kind of giving traction here, direction. In terms of how possibilities are.
Yeah, and having the different states to kind of
exactly. So that we have something that we are onto. So let's sort of run with it. So if we have this particular local government, or any state in Nigeria, you can do that. Every local government should have at least 10 greenhouses. 10 greenhouses. Every village, every district should have at least 10 greenhouses. These greenhouses, they are storage for food throughout the year. You're harvesting and farming throughout the year. There's no waiting, no. Dry season, wet season, Hamatan, everything, you are constantly producing.
So there will be recommendation when certain crops will be grown?
Yes, you are actually growing different crops in different times, and then you're increasing, because you're putting in flowers. Yeah. Because if you bring in marigold and different other plants, they can take rid of mosquitoes. You can bring in bees, and you can bring in different plants that will bring pollinate pollutants, and pollutants will come in and help you to sort of pollinate all the plants that you have. If you have fruiting plants, they will pollinate that. So the capacity for us to do integrated and multi-purpose farming produces the ecosystem, because we have to take care of this ecosystem.
What are you doing in Canada?
I'm navigating.
You gotta pack your bags and go back to Nigeria.
Yes, I am. My bags are packed. My bags are packed.
We have a brand like this is incredible. Like
I was yeah. No, I'm coming. No, you see, the thing is like I made a blunder. A few years ago, I went to Nigeria and I did I have to relearn how to live in Nigeria. I have to relearn how to do when anybody get. So that's that. I have to learn myself back into my community, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm hopefully this year I should be home. I'm going to do some work, and then we're looking at a lot of different things that we're going to do. Yeah, I'm not going to spill it right here, but it's a good thing that you mentioned that. So if there's anybody out there that is thinking about doing something in that direction, please let me know how I can help in terms of
trust me.
creating sustainability and value,
Yeah.
so that we can now look at local government by local government, district by
Well,
district,
we
village by village.
few Gombe people online, and then I don't know whoever we have Mekano person. So who else? Soon I'm sure we find other people that are watching. But I also, with what I was discussing with you the other day, that we need you to put together like a program for us, which can be like, we can do it as a pilot project.
Yeah.
And this way, if we do it and one state works, then you know we can do it in different states.
Yeah, we can extrapolate that. Yeah. So I mean that program is already, is I think I've sent it to you. So if we have that,
and then there's Taraba online as well. Good.
That's right. So if we're able to sort of look at the capacity of that project, if we're able to sort of look at a pilot project and say, okay, we're going to start with this particular, the vegetables are easy to sell because it's what in agriculture we call the dailies. Those are the things that people eat on a regular basis. You know, you have your onions, you have your tomatoes, you have your peppers, you have your greens. So they're there, and you have your beans and all that. People eat those things daily. And we should encourage the, participation in that, dining space consumption. So I think if we put that into that space, then we're able to sort of say, okay, what are the crops that we need? We need rice farmers. Then we need more, yam farmers. Then we need your corn farmers, and we need your millet farmers. And then we need our cassava farmers. So those are the kind of food that we consume. And if we grow them on a small scale, say 5-hectare base, all of this produce, and then we can go into the watermelons, the cucubanians. That's a watermelon, cucumber, zucchini, and all the other ones that grow in the vines, and we're able to sort of produce them intermediately, sort of integratedly together. Then we're able to increase space and increase and utilize all the space and maximize the space for the production of food resources for our own community. And that can be done. That can be done. That can be easily done. That can easily be achieved.
Well, the way you're describing it is like they just need, even in different compounds, especially in the villages, they do have lands around the compound.
Oh, no, they do. Yeah. I mean, and water situation shouldn't be a big deal either, because I mean, like if you are able to dig, say, I'm sure that in some places in water.
Ambassador Faison said they're ready for you for Gombe. They're ready.
That's right. So yeah. Him and I, Ferdinand and I have been talking about it.
Good.
And I think there is that we can create sustainability. We can create that kind of sustainability that can pour out a more honorable space for allowing younger men to become master farmers. And the reason that I'm actually stressing for this master farmer program here is this, Rora, is that we have to come to a place where we realize that if your shoe, if your radio, if your telephone, your cell phone has a problem, you take it to a mechanic to fix it for you. And that mechanic, that technician is equipped, that is trained. So we need to have farm technicians to understand the basics of farming, who are trained, who are disciplined, that can carry this discipline and skill, and they can teach it to the next generation of young men that are coming. And if we're able to sort of do that sufficiently, I'm not only being sexist in terms of saying using men here, we can actually bring women to do that. If we're able to sort of narrow down the vision and take in this projection and go along that trajectory, we can actually turn the minds of the government as a private sector driven project.
Yeah.
So now they can see what we're doing. Once we start having results and we're moving and producing these things, then now we can now start having.
I really like the idea. And if it's not going to cost a lot of money to start it, and then see results, and then we have different, for example, let's say in my village, right? They do a lot of corn and millet.
Okay.
And then their neighbor is doing the same. The other neighbor is doing the same. The other neighbor is doing the same. So everybody around there is only doing corn and millet.
Yes.
And dawa menene dawa shikma. What is dawa?
Corn, maize.
No.
Corn is
grains. No grain. No. But anyway, guinea corn. Millet. Maybe that's the millet.
It's not millet. Millet is different. Sorghum or something like that.
Okay, so like they have those three crops, and then of course potatoes. You know,
yes,
the Irish potatoes, yes. And the sweet potatoes. But what I'm saying is that we don't have another family that is growing maybe vegetables and tomatoes. You know, so that and then these people have to go maybe to go get the tomatoes from somewhere. But if we have like one family is doing this, the other family is doing this, that family is doing this,
and then you can bring that and sort of trade between yourselves, and everybody is sustained.
Yeah. Guinea corn. He said
guinea corn.
Guinea corn. Yes.
Guinea corn. Yeah. Guinea corn.
So and he wants to. Somebody wants you to talk about moringa. And the
okay, so the moringa market right now is very low. If we can produce moringa takes about 45 days to grow. And so currently the moringa market internationally is facing quite a lot of persecution. So I will encourage a very sustainable consumption of moringa in Nigeria, because we need the nutrients. So every farm that you grow, you should grow moringa.
Okay.
You should grow moringa in the house. I think I have my moringa here. They're growing. I have my moringa here that's growing gradually. So I think everybody should grow moringa in their own house.
And someone, Aminu Turag, he said, this is a full-scale school of thoughts. Giving free of charge. Why did I've been after this man since last year? He is too busy for me. I had to like blackmail him to have him come on. And this is why. We do need this. And this is incredible for young people to learn, to be able, like I'm telling you, this young boy that got the chickens, I don't know how many chickens they gave him from Zamfara, but he is doing an incredible job, you know? Okay, somebody we have. So Cliff, I think you should start looking there. People asking questions, so start looking at the comments. If you address
if you have any question, you want us to address them so we can.
Yes. So, but so now, I love the idea of the different communities doing different things. I think we could also make it like more of a pilot project where, like you said, you literally know what community, what weather. And what I love about what you were explaining, like if I was going to go and do any farming, I never even thought of the climate. Never. All I was thinking of is that, I have a little space in my home, so I'm going to grow this. But it's also important to understand what kind of climate is conducive for what kind of food produce, right?
Yeah.
And so in regard to, let's look at me. I am a college student. I have graduated. I am whatever they call it, distinction and everything. And I can't find a job. And I'm staying at home at my father's house, doing nothing, waiting for that government to give me an appointment. What would you say to that young man or young woman in terms of agriculture now? How can they just get up and start doing something and start making money instead of waiting for that job? What would you tell them? Because I think a lot of people feel like it's impossible to do this, or if they do it, they're not even going to make money out of it.
I agree with you 100%. Now, you have to look at the different crops. You have to do a study, a survey of the different crops. First of all, you need to create sustainability. You need to start creating sustainability in your father's house. So you can ask your parents to give you a little bit of space, say 10 by 10, 10 by 10, 15 by 15 space. If you have that, if you don't have, borrow it from your uncle or from your family. Create this notion of friendship and collateral. Create a shape collateral with your friends, with your cousin, with your uncle. They have some space. Borrow that space. Once you're able to borrow that space, do two things. Don't invest so much money. Start very small. Get chickens. Borrow chickens. And don't go and buy fish. Go to the river. go and catch fish in the water and dig a 4x4, 4x4, 4x8. You dig, feet is 4 feet deep, and then the length and the width is 4x4, and then you have that. You put a plastic inside, get a plastic, and then you put your water in it, and then you cover that. You put water, and then you put that fish in that. Within 3 months, my dear, you will start selling fish, and you start selling chickens and eggs.
Wow.
Within 3 months, that's what you're going to be start. So you are now helping your parents. They're no longer buying chicken. They're no longer buying fish.
And you still have some money aside.
You still have some money a little bit to help your parents to pay for gas or pay for whatever you can do. You're creating your own space right now. Now you can increase that gradually. You can increase the water you have to remember that zero waste. You need to have zero waste.
I like that.
Zero waste. You don't need big space for that. You don't need big space for that. That small space. Now, what I'm telling you here, I've told so many people, and they are practicing it, and they are making money. All I'm asking for is that when you start making money, please send me 10% so that I can have it as royalty. So,
actually, send the 10% to Etsy. That's
that's right. Send 10% to Etsy. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying here. So, but if you have a bigger space, don't go into like 10 hectares of land. Take 1 hectare of land. 1 hectare of land. All right. 1 hectare of land. You divide that 1 hectare into 4.
So with all these people that are watching, send us, if you know wherever you can find a hectare of land in your state.
Yes.
Send us on. I think that we should have how to contact us, or send to information is on his bio. So this way, maybe we can start something as on our own, even as private individual.
Yeah, as private individual. If you want to do it as a private individual, by all means.
To do like a pilot program. I mean, I really feel bad that a lot of our young people stay home thinking that the only way they can survive is really to get government jobs, which are so hard to come by. And you can actually do what you just did. People are always looking for food.
Always eating food. People always will eat food.
And I think also with what we can also help them in terms of the programming is like, okay, this is where what you're doing here. You focus here. Like if there are 3 or 4 of them in the same state or same local government, then they should not be doing too much that it becomes like when we come to the demand and supply, because too much of supply drives down the demand, and that is the problem with Nigeria.
Yeah.
The problem with Nigeria is that one person start doing one business and they heard the person is making money off of that business. Everybody in that community is doing the same business.
No, we shouldn't do that.
That kills any morale or drive or everything. Yeah. So I think that also we need to have that. Maybe if we start with the villages, we need to discuss it with the village heads, where we say, okay, this person, this is the deal. We're going to help you do this, but you have to tell these people they can't make this because Mr. A is doing or Mrs. A is doing it.
Yeah, there has to be division of labor and expertise. There has to be division of labor and expertise, because we have farmers in northern Nigeria that are experts in the field, some of the things that are producing. We also have to listen to them, you know. So if we have our older parents that have been doing cucumber and watermelons for 10 years, 15 years, they know the plant very well. All we need to do is to get the seed from them, because that seed that we're getting there, we don't need to put any fertilizer, because that seed is already acclimatized and is already healed and is already ready to grow in those kind of environments. So you don't need any new seed to introduce the seed and then start going through the period of accommodation of the seed into the soil and the atmosphere of that environment and that community. So local seed is very, very important. You know, that's what I'm saying here, right? That we have local seed farmers. So we need to also start doing seed farming in the north as a community. Okay. So if I have 10 people, for example, if I have 10 people, whether 10 people in Gombe or 10 people there, let me tell you what I'm doing here in Canada.
Okay.
We have 10 people right now that we're forming a co-op.
Mm-hmm.
We're forming a co-op with these 10 people. And the goal here is we're buying 100 acres of land, which is about 50 or 40 hectares of land. And all of us are contributing to that land. And each one of us will have at least 1 hectare of land.
Okay.
And in this 1 hectare of land, we're going to build, every one of us will build their own house. And we're going to have our own space where we're all contributing. So we're putting in our resources in that land. We are going to be producing vegetables. We're going to be producing crops. We're going to be producing machineries that will actually encourage sustainable, so that if you come into that compound alone, everything that you need in terms of agriculture, you will get there. We're having storage. We're having processing resources, so that everything in that place is sustainable. We're going to be growing our own fish. We're going to be growing our own chicken. We're going to be growing our own cattle. Everything that you need in order for you to sustain, that can be done. So if you have people like that in Nigeria, you can create an estate.
Yeah.
And that estate, all they are doing there is that they are production estate. That everything is there in that estate. Everything that you need is sustainable in that estate.
And Cliff, I'm more concerned of the village people. They
No,
need,
you can do the same thing in the village. You can do. In fact, it's even much more easier
because
to do these
especially
things in the
now
village.
with the food insecurity, they can't even go to their farms. I'm just
You
worried.
can do that in the villages. We can do that in the villages. You can
Because
do
I'm
that
worried
in
in
the
a few
villages.
years people will start having no food to eat, and that is another problem in itself.
You can use moringa. You can use your moringa as an edge. You can use, there are 3 plants that we now start using as edges. That is to say, you can have the neem tree. Your neem tree will serve as a fertilizer, as a pest control, because you can use your neem flower, neem leaves. You soak the neem leaves and you spray it in your farm, and it will drive away all kinds of pests that are eating your vegetables and your crops. You spray that. You don't need to buy.
Ahmed made a comment. I like that. I was actually thinking that along the line. I was thinking that maybe we should get 2 or 3 youths from each state as a
Well,
and then you train them on what,
yeah. We can do WhatsApp training. We can do Zoom.
I'm sorry, Zoom training.
We can do Zoom training.
And then we'll see how exactly. And then we have like the ambassadors here and Engineer Gorjo, the big guys. They can, we get a few big guys from each state to sponsor this youth. Out of their pocket, since it's not that expensive, and let it be a pilot project.
Yeah.
Let's see how.
So all you need to do is just to pay for my ticket and pay for my hotel, and I'm good.
Don't worry, we'll get all the emirs to keep you in their party. Anyway, you are a prince. We don't need to even put you anywhere.
I'll be in the Adamawa. I'll be in the palace with my cousin.
Adamawa Palace, okay?
I'll be in the palace.
I didn't know, but joke about you can actually do this thing.
No, we can do that. No, we can do that.
And I think that would be like a good collaboration with Dialogue with Khuraira and your organization to kind of make something, great for our youth. I just, these young people, they just touch my heart. They're really looking for mentors, and that's, to me, that is the essence of Dialogue with Khuraira, having the likes of you. Last week, I had Ambassador Fez, and I have seen the comments they are making about his skills. He spoke about skills, and it's incredible. And we need more of that. Like, we need more and more and more platforms like that can really talk to the young people, so the young people don't just stay and be relinquishing without any way of making an income.
I think that's very beautiful. Yeah.
So I think this is great. We are almost out of time. So right now, Cliff, I want you to give us a rundown of how you think this can go, what advice or which way. I mean, do your thing. Just do the closing.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the 2 things that I think that's very important here is that you need to be so hungry that you don't want to be hungry anymore for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That's number 1. You need to understand that this is possible. Once you are able to create that traction and that gate and know that you are the problem and you are the solution, that is to say, you're able to sort of wake up and say, enough is enough. All I want right now is that I don't want to blame anybody for my problems. I want to make things happen. Start planting a seed tomorrow. When you wake up tomorrow, get outside, look for a seed, groundnut seed, peanut seed, whatever seed. Start planting something today. By the time you plant something today, that gives you the courage. That's the first step that you're taking.
Yeah.
Whatever mistakes that you make, I'm a phone call away. I can guide you through the process of how you can do. If you need any kind of design, farm design, how you can sort of minimize space, maximize space, or how you can increase the co-op so that we can work together in terms of creating this population, seed distribution, and resource development of integrated and monocropping. If you want to do multiple system cropping or monocropping, whatever system of cropping that you are thinking about, talk to me about it. I'm able to provide you with the guidelines, with the resources that can help you navigate you from zero to harvest. So we have a training program that we can put your community. If you have good relationship with your local government, for example, you know your chairman is able to provide young men or young women that are capable of doing that. Talk to me about it. I can provide you the training, the teaching, and the leverage that you can understand and how we can get you also a market, because everything is possible if we have a conversation together. So Royal is providing us this platform that we can dialogue and create. The next step is action, so that the next step that we want to see here is that, okay, let's put these things into work. Let's get this thing done. Let's plant, let's harvest. It takes only 3 to 4 months for everything that you plant on the ground to grow and harvest, and now you can have that too. So finally, that's what I want to cap on with, that don't sit back and allow situations and circumstances to make decisions for you. Wake up, move, plant a seed tomorrow, and you will harvest. A lot of people say that money doesn't grow on trees. But see, the truth is that actually
money
food actually grows on trees.
And food is money.
Food is money. So let's make money then.
Yes, true. I like that. I like that. Well, I have to tell you, this is it's a very, very, like I told you, I must have been a farmer in my old life, if there was another life that I lived.
Yeah,
I love everything about farming. I really do. Maybe because I grew up in a village where there was a lot of. I have. Kuma, we have a lot of farmers around us.
That's right.
So we have the cows and we have the farms too.
Yeah.
And I the most fun memory I have of my childhood is Aikingaya.
Pretty good. Which is
community.
Yeah,
we looked so forward to that, because we used to have, the farmers who are the natives there, and the Fulani people don't do much of farming, so they will get the farmers from the farm people to come and farm our lands, and then we also give them the turkey, from the cows, the feces of the cows, for them to put on their own farms. And everything was that is my vision of seeing what Ariwa need to go back to.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to that. Let's
community,
go loving each other, and
get back to community.
And I think we should be able to do that, starting with our youth, because I think that we lost somehow we lost the way, somehow trying to be so westernized that we forgot who we are, and when we came to the city, we're not even telling our children about the village life, so they don't even have a notion of what it is to
customs and traditions,
So I think somebody says interesting, share the social work vibe. Exactly. And then it was a good moment with His Highness. So His Highness, you're gonna put together a program, and don't share.
Yes, I am.
Because now I have not to disappoint Ahmed, especially losing his father, and he's still committed to be here to listen to Dialogue with Her. I think we should try and see how we can make his wish come true. And I thank everybody for tuning in and listening to the next Dangote, Prince Cliff. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
It's
that.
going to happen with your agriculture.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I keep telling people, honestly, the next money maker is food.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening wherever you are. Good night, good morning, wherever. And then we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.